Hello, welcome back, my dear children. Are you safe at your home? Okay, good. Shall we start today's class? Are you ready? Okay, do you remember the story of Toto-chan and Yasuki-chan? Okay, very good. Listen to me. Toto-chan and Yasuki-chan are good friends. Yasuki-chan is a disabled boy. They are studying in Tomo Public School. There, each student had a tree as their own, but Yasuki-chan had no trees. So, Toto-chan invited him to climb on her tree. When he started to climb, he realized that it is too difficult to climb on the tree. So, she brought a stepladder to help him. They struggled a lot. Their strong determination reached him to the top. Okay, my dears, let's see what happened later. Take your text, page number 154. I'll read it, listen carefully, and also read with me. The struggle. Toto-chan jumped onto the fork, but she couldn't get Yasuki-chan onto the tree from the stepladder. She wanted so badly to have Yasuki-chan onto her tree. She wanted to show him all sorts of things. Touching the stepladder, Yasuki-chan looked at Toto-chan. She suddenly felt like crying, but she didn't cry. She feared that if she did, Yasuki-chan might start crying too. She took hold of his hand. It was bigger than hers and his fingers were longer too. They were all stuck together because of the polio. She held his hand for a long time. Then he said, "Lie down, I will try to pull you over." Okay, my dears, listen to the explanation. After a long time struggle, they reached on the top. Then Toto-chan jumped on the fork, but Yasuki-chan couldn't get on the tree. She tried her best. Toto-chan was not ready to leave her all efforts. She wanted to show him all sorts of things, but Yasuki-chan couldn't move a bit. By clutching the stepladder, Yasuki-chan looked at her very sad. What do you mean by clutch? Clutch means to hold someone or something tightly. When she looked at her, she felt very sad, but she controlled herself. Otherwise, she will cry. She feared that if she did so, Yasuki-chan will also cry. Toto-chan took all her effort to reach him on the top, but all in vain. At last, she told him that to lie down. He did so. Then she tried to pull him over. Okay, my dears, shall we move on to the rest of the story? Listen here, I will read it. You can also read with me. If any grown-ups had seen the scene, they would have let out a scream. But Yasuki-chan trusted Toto-chan completely. Toto-chan was risking her life for him. With her tiny hands clutching his, she pulled with all her might. From time to time, a large cloud would mercifully protect them from the blistering sun. At last, the two stood face to face on the tree. Brushing her damp hair back, Toto-chan bowed politely to him and said, "Welcome to my tree." Yasuki-chan leaned against the trunk, smiling rather bashfully, and said, "May I come in?" Okay, my dears, listen to the explanation. Let's see what happened later. Then she thought for a while that if any grown-ups had seen this scene, they would have let out a scream because it was so risky. But Yasuki-chan didn't leave her hope. He had complete trust on her. She pulled him with all her might. Might means power. The time passed very fastly, the clouds protecting them from the blistering sun. What do you mean by blistering? Blistering means extremely hot or uncomfortable. At last she could win. Both of them stood face to face on the tree. Toto-chan bowed him very politely and welcomed to her tree. Then Yasuki-chan leaned against the trunk and smiled bashfully. Bashfully means with shyness, and asked her, "May I come in?" Okay, my dears, let's move on to the ending part of the story. I'll read the passage. You listen carefully. On the top of the world, Yasuki-chan was able to see vistas he had never glimpsed before. So, this is what it's like to climb a tree, he said happily. They stayed on the tree for a long time and talked about all sorts of things. My sister in America says they have got something there called television, said Yasuki-chan with enthusiasm. She says that when it comes to Japan, we will be able to sit at home and watch sumo wrestling. She says it's like a box. She simply wondered how sumo wrestlers could get inside a box in your own houses. Okay, dear children, did you get the idea of the passage? Oh, you don't worry, I will explain it. Listen carefully. From the treetop, he could see vistas. What do you mean by vistas? Vistas means a beautiful view of the countryside or city. From the treetop, he could see a beautiful view of city that he had never seen before. So he enjoyed these sights very happily. They sat there a long time and talked all sorts of things. Then Yasuki-chan told her that his sister is in America, said that they had got a television, and when it comes to Japan, we can sit at home and watch sumo wrestling. Then they talked about sumo wrestlers. Then Toto-chan wondered that how the sumo wrestlers get inside this box because they are very big. Okay, let's listen to the rest of the story, my dears. Sumo wrestlers are so big, but it was fascinating all the same. In those days, nobody knew about television. Yasuki-chan was the first to tell Toto-chan about it. The cicadas were singing and the two children were so happy. And for Yasuki-chan, it was the first and last time he ever climbed a tree. Okay, listen here, my dears. By hearing the explanation of Yasuki-chan about the sumo wrestlers, Toto-chan wondered greatly. In those days, nobody knew about television. Yasuki-chan was the first to tell Toto-chan about it. Listen here, my dears. Nowadays, you are familiar with all kinds of modern gadgets like television, mobiles, computer, etc. Now, both of them are on the treetop. They could hear the singing of cicadas. What do you mean by cicada? Cicada is a large insect with long transparent wings, mostly found in warm countries. Both of them enjoyed the scene very much because it was Yasuki-chan's first and last time he ever climbed a tree. Okay, my dears, what a beautiful ending. I think now you feel quite relief because you were so curious. Did you like the story? Okay, good. Children, you should remember one thing. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible when we try again and again. So, children, don't be lazy. Try again and again till you reach your destination. Okay, my dears, now it's the time to wind up today's class. You must read the text 3 times as assignment. We will meet in the next class with the next lesson. Thank you.